Are you feeling stuck? You know that feeling, right? Where every year you tell yourself, okay, this is my year. But then it just isn't. Well, think of this as the friendly kick in the teeth you might just need. We're going to dive into some seriously unfiltered insights on how to stop waiting for life to happen and start making it happen. Let's get right into it.
Oof, that one hits right at the core of the problem, doesn't it? The universe isn't sitting around waiting for you to feel motivated. Life isn't going to magically rearrange itself just to fit your goals. No, you have to be the one to force that alignment. And that all starts with some brutal honesty about where you are right now. So, step one is just admitting where you are. And for a lot of people, that place is what the source material calls the colorless rut. It's that feeling that the spark is gone, that you're just kind of going through the motions day in and day out. Does this sound familiar? You make these huge promises to yourself on January 1st. You're full of energy, you're full of hope, but then February rolls around and somehow the old habits just creep back in, and next year becomes this tired old phrase. It's a really frustrating cycle, but it's one we can absolutely break. Let's just do some simple math here. We all have 24 hours in a day. Take away 8 for sleep, 8 for work or school, and about 2 for just, existing, eating, commuting, all that stuff. What are you left with? 6. 6 hours. That's it. 6 hours of your own time where the entire game is either won or lost. And this, right here, is the critical difference. Watching motivational videos, scrolling through success stories, that feels like you're doing something, right? But it's just passive consumption. The real challenge is to switch from being a spectator, watching other people win, to being an active participant in your own life. But here's the thing. Even if you manage those 6 hours perfectly, the biggest obstacle isn't your schedule or your bank account. Nope. It's the battlefield that's raging right between your ears. So often, your own mind is the first enemy you have to defeat. The source material has this fantastic concept. Treat your attention and your energy, your F words, if you will, like a currency. You have a finite budget every single day, and if you waste it on trivial stuff, you're going to be bankrupt when it's time to invest in what actually matters. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. This is the choice you have to make every day. On the left, you've got all the background static. The likes, the gossip, the trends, it's all just noise. And on the right, you have the actual pillars of your life. Every single ounce of energy you give to that left column is literally stolen from the right one. Man, this quote just nails it. Read that again. You're not tired from doing too much, you're tired from thinking too much. It's the mental clutter, the overthinking, the worrying, the second-guessing that drains your battery, not the actual work. Okay, so we've tackled the mindset, but how do we actually translate that into consistent action? Because let me tell you, relying on willpower alone is a guaranteed way to fail. You don't need more motivation, you need better systems. I absolutely love this concept, lazy proofing. It's not about trying to be stronger, it's about being smarter. You basically engineer your environment so that doing the wrong thing is a huge pain in the butt, and doing the right thing becomes the path of least resistance. You're tricking your future lazy self into being disciplined. It's brilliant. So here's what that looks like in the real world. To wake up earlier, you add physical discomfort. Put that alarm way across the room so you have to get up. To make sure you hit the gym, you add financial stakes. Make skipping it literally cost you money. To finish a project, add some social pressure. Tell someone you respect what you're doing, so not finishing would be embarrassing. It's all about creating immediate, real consequences for doing nothing. And your system should also make you way more efficient. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. Use the 80-20 rule to find the few key actions that deliver most of your results. Use active recall, actually testing yourself to learn, not just passively read. And use a spacing effect to make that knowledge actually stick. These are some seriously powerful systems for making real progress. All right, now, even with the best systems in the world, you're going to face the first great battle every single day, the urge to procrastinate. This part is all about winning that initial fight against just not doing anything. It's the question we all ask ourselves, right? Staring at a blank page or an untouched to-do list. We build it up in our minds like it's this giant monster we have to defeat. But what if the answer is actually really simple? And yeah, the answer is almost disappointingly simple. The hardest part of any task isn't the work itself. It's that moment of hesitation right before you begin. Once you start, momentum becomes this incredibly powerful force. The The real secret is just taking that first tiny step without waiting for inspiration to strike. So here's how you do it. Call it the Just Start method. You lower the barrier to entry so much that it feels ridiculous not to start. Commit to just 10 minutes, do the absolute easiest, most microscopic part of the task first, and give it your undivided attention. That is how you break the spell of procrastination. This whole Just Start method isn't just for big, scary projects. You can practice it everywhere. Let's take a common fear, small talk. It is the perfect low-stakes training ground for building your action muscle, because really, all it is taking one tiny initiative. See, the key to small talk isn't about being witty or charming. It's this, active observation. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're just trying to notice. You see something tangible, their book, their coffee, their jacket, and you just make a simple comment. It takes all the pressure off you, and it makes the other person feel seen. All right, we've covered the rut, the mindset, the systems, and the simple act of starting. And that brings us to the final and honestly the most important part of this whole journey, a direct question that I really want you to sit with for a second. I'm not ready yet. I'm not confident enough. What will people think? I'm scared of failing. These are the stories we tell ourselves. They feel like really legitimate reasons, but they're just excuses dressed up in fancy clothes. They are the invisible walls we build around our own potential. And this is the ultimate truth that just flips the whole script. You've been waiting to feel ready, to feel confident before you start anything. But that's completely backwards. Confidence is not a prerequisite for action, it's the result of it. Readiness is something you earn by starting, not something you wait around for. So the crucial point is this. The barrier isn't external. It's not a lack of time or money or luck. It's the internal narrative. It's the story you've been repeating to yourself that says, I can't, or not me, or someday. The good news? You're the author, and you can change that story whenever you want. And that's where we're going to leave it. But seriously, think about the people you admire, the lives you want, the goals you dream of, and just ask yourself with complete honesty, why not you?